They have been fighting for justice for decades but are not giving up. Plantation workers in Nicaragua want compensation for the damage done to their health by American-made pesticides.
I remember that once I was cutting cane and I had a headache and bone pain, but the fever was so terrible that I fainted in the cane. I was brought to hospital where doctors said my creatine had changed by 2 points.
Supposedly the poison they sprayed came from the plains while we were cutting the cane. The poison entered our bodies, so we were being affected all the time.
My husband was working with the cane, but he died. Sometimes our kids were waiting for him with food not so far from the plantation, so they were affected too and got sick. My brothers Mario and Francisco died working in the cane. They didn't get any help because they didn't have insurance.
They never told us what we know now. And I don't think it is right for them to spray the poison because now we are affected. The worst thing here is they don't want to meet our demands. The company's owner is deaf to us.
Of course, I might not receive compensation, but at least my family can, so I can help them.
I do believe that they should pay us and recognize our rights, our lives, and our organs, which were made sick. We were put in these conditions, so they are the ones responsible for our disease.
The Nicaraguan courts awarded over $800 million in compensation to more than 1,000 plantation workers and their families, but the U.S.-based pesticide makers have refused to pay. However, the case is now being heard in France, where those firms have significant assets. The workers' lawyer, Stuart Smith, explains why they hope to find justice in Europe.
There were originally cases filed in California. The courts in the United States basically said it's better to file your case in your home country. The defendants removed all of their assets from those countries, so there's no assets to seize in those countries. So you would then have to take that judgment and try to seize their assets to satisfy the judgment, and that's the process we're going through now in Europe. France believes in the rule of law, and they certainly are aware that the proof is in the record of the case. These men were tested, their sterility was documented, and so it's time that they be compensated.
The companies being sued are Dow, Shell, and Occidental. They say the Nicaraguan courts lack jurisdiction, and efforts to obtain compensation in the U.S. have failed. Dow said in a statement that the French courts would not find the judgments enforceable either. Lawyer Stuart Smith again says it's time for the companies to pay up.
The chemical causes sterility in men. In other words, they're unable to have children. It affects the spermatoza in men to where they cannot fertilize a female. And it also increases cancer rates among women and men. I felt that these victims had not been compensated, and they were really significantly hurt by this. And we took up the case, and we're going to collect these judgments or settle these cases one way or the other. These companies are going to have to pay these people.